Thank you. Ms. Kushner, good evening and welcome.
Thank you. Am I on? Thank you for the opportunity to talk with you about this important subject. You know, I've always been surprised that a woman's right to terminate a pregnancy, a woman's right to have a safe and medical abortion, which was established by the decision of Roe v. Wade in 1973, has always been treated completely differently than any of the other civil rights that have been developed in the last 50 or 60 years, many of which I was deeply involved with. For instance, in the area of racial discrimination, in 1954, the Supreme Court established the Board of Brown versus the Board of Education, which said separate but equal schools are not constitutional. You will integrate and you will treat everybody equally. And because of that, when I came to Providence, I worked to integrate the Providence schools, to set up a busing system that would bring children from outside the community to all the schools, to get rid of the all-black school that was on Doyle Avenue, and to open up Martin Luther King, a brand new school that would service not just the children who lived in the community, but children of all races throughout the city. Interestingly, I have never heard an attack on Brown versus the Board of Education. It's just gone right along. We have not only created a greater equality, although it's not perfect, we have gone to actually do affirmative action to make sure that people who were discriminated against had a better chance. Same thing with women's rights, same thing with the disability rights. In 1983, we tried to codify here in the Rhode Island legislature the fact that we would not have discrimination based on disability and sex and gender. Not gender, excuse me. I get those words mixed up despite my central position in the argument. But disability was one of the things that we were going to make sure that children who were able to be mainstreamed in the schools, that people who had disability were not going to be stopped from filling a job if they could do the job. Maybe they needed a chair, but they would have that. Never. There has been no attack on that. What's happened is our society has gone further, and we have done various things. We created transportation systems and made things better so that things are more equal. In 1984, I introduced the bill that would end the discrimination based on sexual orientation in employment and in public accommodations. It took, and a couple other categories, it took 11 years to get that through. Senator Perry was on the other side fighting for it also. And despite the horrific comments I heard about people who were gay while we were trying to get that bill through, once it passed and people had the safety to come out of their closet, and we discovered that they were us, they were our neighbors, they were our friends, they were our colleagues, we then saw the state move on to gay marriage. No attack. It was just a progression on. But with women's right to an abortion, under certain circumstances set out in the measured decision of Roe v. Wade, the attack has never stopped. It took years to get that decision through, and from the time that it came, we were inundated with bills that would either undo it completely or would nip at the edges, would make women have to go through waiting periods, and women have to come back multiple times, and women have to be counseled, and women have to get permission, etc. And doctors were limited, and health clinics were being limited in what they could do. This is the only civil right that has been treated that way, and I don't think that's right, because a woman's right to control her body is a linchpin of having equal rights. And not only that, it's a medical right. Before that, and I know from personal experience, and many people who are 70 or older do, that you had no choice except to put yourself in the illegal world if you want an abortion. And whether you came out with an abortion or maimed, or you didn't come out at all, that was the situation. And so in 1993, we actually passed a bill, just like this bill you're considering, that would have codified Roe v. Wade. And we made it onto the front page of the Journal. It passed with a bipartisan group, 51-42. And I thought, oh God, finally, we're finally going to have this matter settled. Nope, unfortunately, it did not pass. in the Senate. So here we are 26 years later, and this is a wonderful opportunity. Here's the chance to finally establish that Rhode Island women and Rhode Island girls will be safe. And I ask you to do this. Thank you.